All right, welcome back, everyone. So glad that you are here with us again. We are starting a new season. We are excited. And I keep saying we because my co host, I'm so used to her being there, but she is in the air. The Queen of Feeling Fabulous is in the air traveling to do some more good work. And so I'm just happy to be here. I'm Dr. Kim Brown Barber, better known as Dr. Kim. And I'm here with Real Talk, our live stream that we have just for women to be able to uplift and strengthen and talk about all those things that are on our minds and being able to help each other and support each other and highlight each other and just to have real conversations. You know, we solve all the world problems here. How about that? So we're happy today to be able to celebrate Black History Month. And in celebration of Black History Month, I wanted to hear from our young sisters about how they are feeling and what's on their mind. So first, let's get them introduced, and then we'll go into the questions. So our panel today, we have Jennifer. You want to start?
Hi, my name is Jennifer Semple. I'm one of the panelists. I'm originally from New York. I just moved here to Monterey, so yay.
All right. East Coast, West Coast. All right. Excellent. Thank you and welcome.
Yeah.
Jessica, won't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Jessica Dunbar, and I'm also new to Monterey County. I'm
Okay.
originally from San Jose, Silicon Valley, and yeah, thank you for having me here.
Excellent. And I believe Jessica is a CSUMB student. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So she is a California State University Monterey Bay student. Want to make sure I put that out there. And Jennifer is a working mother,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so she is busy. I like people to kind of know your background a little bit, so when you start talking, they kind of understand where you're coming from. So yeah, she's a working mother, and so you will be hearing from their different perspectives this evening. So we're just excited to be here and have this conversation on Black History Month with two of our young African American sisters to talk about, first of all, their heroes. So we have so many heroes in this world, right? No matter who we are, what age we are, we have someone that we're looking up to or watching. And a hero can become in many shapes, sizes, colors, and places. And but today we are looking to see who are their heroes, specifically who are their African American heroes they would like to salute today. We want to give you that space to be able to salute your heroes today. So we're going to start with Jessica about finding out who her hero is and why. Jessica?
Um, so I put in a lot of thought into this because I have many.
I'm
um,
sure.
the one I that stands out the most to me, especially in my life right now, is Queen Afua. I have a few of her books.
Okay.
I yeah,
Educate us. That's right. Show
I
us. We
love
love we
her.
love to
Oh,
to,
you want
to
to see?
show and tell.
Yes, Queen Afua.
Okay.
She is just she's amazing. And this book here is Heal Thyself, and she also has Sacred Woman,
Mm,
and she is just so sweet. You could feel her power and
mm.
vibration through her words in these books, and um, she's really big on women empowerment and in the Black community and just the community in general. And I think she has a lot to teach us, and she's really rich in culture in her
Mm-hmm.
from Kemet, which is another a known word for Egypt, and she teaches us a lot about of the lost culture and history of Egypt and our backgrounds, and basically our ancestors and where they're from, and just learning it, and taking back our power, and women, a lot of women empowerment is it's a big takeaway for me as well. So
That
that's
is amazing. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's amazing. So
Mhm.
I like how you talked about for you, you have many, but for this particular one that you this black heroine, right, that you are celebrating, really just had a lot to do with you personally, right, and your self discovery and empowering yourself to be who you were meant to be, right. And I'm
Mhm.
hearing that, like, you're looking at heroes or heroines that actually can add to your life, right? That can be able to
Correct.
guide you and help you. And that's what I'm hearing from you with this
Mhm.
person. Have you
Mhm.
ever been able to see them in person or hear them in person?
No, never, ever. I've kind of do my own research, and
Okay.
I came across her through watching other podcasts,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and um, yeah, I'm really big on just culture and
Mm-hmm.
also my spiritual journey and healing, and that's why when I came across her, I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not only a full-time college student, but I'm also a mother of two.
Your mother too.
A
Okay. See,
single,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
All right.
I'm a single mother of two, and I'm sorry, they're asking me
No,
to stay outside.
that's okay. That's one thing about real talk. We are real. I
Mhm.
mean, and being a single mom, you have to double, duty.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, I can be on the podcast, but then I've got to take care of kids. So if you want to do that while we go to Jennifer, that'll be awesome. But no
Okay.
worries. All right,
Yeah. Thank
Jennifer, tell
you.
us, who is your black hero or heroine?
Oh, I have so many too. But one that
Okay.
it was Ruby Bridges because
Mm.
African American, all white, desegregated, and kind of remind me of myself. I went, well,
Hmm.
segregated now, but I did go to a diverse school and I was the only
Hmm.
black girl. So I loved what she stood for, and I admire her respect and her values of what she stood for as being the only black girl in a school. And I
Wow.
made me appreciate so much diversity. I can get along with anybody who comes from all walks of life. So I made a lot of friends that came with
I'm sure.
black people of color, but I learned to appreciate and I learned about their culture and I respected their culture as well. So I think that's great. Yeah.
See, that's awesome. So for you, it's someone you identify with as well, because you were like, hey, I know how it is to be the only one. And it's
Yeah.
a different story, right? It's a different story when you're the only one, and what that looks like, and how do you grow from there? How are you able to be yourself in those ways? And
Oh,
how is it that you can't be yourself in those ways? It actually addresses all of that. And I really can see and applaud how that has probably helped you and to gain strength. Do you feel like you gained strength from reading and listening to her?
I did. I did. And not only that, they respected me.
Mm, mm-hmm,
Very time, back then it was different for her, I'm sure. But now, I thank her because when I did go to a private school, um, it paved the way for me and to make friends for people to respect me because of my color, teachers to respect me because of my color, and vice versa. So I think that's great. I thank her so much. I do. I really.
that's amazing. So I mean, to me, I think it's really uh a eye opener and intriguing how you still basically were able to feel respected
Yes.
because of your color.
Yes.
Not in spite of your color, but you were able to feel that. Did you ever feel that you had to be somebody other than yourself when you were going through these types of experiences?
No, because the talks my parents had with me at home, I knew where I came from,
Mm-hmm.
different. I knew that, and I knew that certain things that they had, I wouldn't have. So
Mm-hmm.
it also starts with at home. If you're constantly talking to your children or your family about where you come from, that brings such a light and gaining confidence within their selves and within myself. I
Mm-hmm.
with that, so I didn't feel like lower than others. I thought it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my hair. I knew my hair could get straight too. If I.
Uh-huh.
So, but,
You were able to just have all sorts of diverse ways to do your hair, and that made you empowered you too, right? Seems like we lost her for a second. See, this is all a part of real talk. Things really happen, right? Just like I was saying, Jessica, but I'm
okay,
sure. Okay, there we go. Do we have her back? Yep,
yeah,
we have her back.
um,
Technology is wonderful when it works.
yes, it
So,
is. When I used to come to school with braids, I wore it proudly, and
uh-huh.
people who were insecure, they feel ashamed, like, oh, I'm in braids. And I wore it proudly, and they were like, wow, that is so cool. They admired me,
Mm-hmm.
but the clothes I wore, they admired, my fashion. I admired their fashion. So I
Mm-hmm.
think great. We was able to get along. I didn't feel secluded, excluded from anything.
Mm-hmm.
My teachers were very great, and I must say that in that school, they taught me how to write, which I
Uh-huh.
now. So it worked out. It
That's
worked.
awesome.
I learned, certain foods that I wouldn't eat at home, I ate at school, or with my friends. I had a Chinese friend. I had, Japanese, Korean, all Asian friends, Indian. So when it was lunchtime, we got to like look at each other's food. They say,
Sample the food, right? You had your own UN going. Okay.
don't share your food. But, I was like, I was able to go home and say, Mommy, hey, I want to try couscous. Or,
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, hey, I want to try this. And she's like, what? Okay. And sometimes we used to, I must admit, we would trade foods when we weren't supposed to, but
Oh,
we did,
I'm sure.
you
That's
know,
all a part of being a kid. You got to trade
right.
foods.
It was like certain foods in like the Black community, you wouldn't really see that would eat. And I appreciate that. I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
speak. And when we had a play date, her mother took us to a Greek restaurant. I never had
Mm-hmm.
food in my life, but I learned that so early. So I learned to appreciate different cultures and people from all walks of life, and they learned to appreciate me. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's important, I gained respect for them, and they gained respect for me. So I think that's very important. And even now with my daughter, now that we moved here, I wanted her to experience that as well. So she's experienced,
Mm-hmm.
different friends are from all walks of life, and she's learning to respect them, and they're learning to respect her. So I think that's great. She's learning that earlier than I did. But
Exactly. Well, I think that's amazing.
yeah,
It's important it sounds like your heroine actually helped you to be able to build that confidence even more. It sounds like you already had it in you, but it sounds like it built it even more. And the confidence just breeded that exposure, and the exposure just breeded, friendship. And it
mhm,
just goes to show you, we're all human beings, we're all people, right? But
yeah,
you need to be your best self. And I think
yes,
Jessica was even discovering that in the books she was reading, as well. And it's funny how both of you, they're dealing with books, a lot of books that you guys are reading.
yeah.
So we talk about and celebrate a little bit about our heroes and heroines. So let's talk about what concerns you. Now, as young women and young mothers, especially, what concerns you, these days? What are things that are on your mind that you would want to bring to the front to talk a little bit more about? Let's start with you, Jessica.
Um, so I wrote a list. So
Okay. She's like, I got a lot of
yeah,
concerns.
we're
Okay.
gonna bring it
That's
all
what
to
I
the
want to hear
table.
about.
No. Um, just I wrote just a handful of things that I've been through personally, but I
Mhm.
know there's just so many more young women and young Black women um, have been through this a lot, and they get this every day. Um, for me, first of all, I'm a woman. I'm a Black woman. I'm a single mother, and I feel like all those do play a part in ways that we are treated differently.
Mhm.
I've dealt with a lot of microaggressions, not being seen, heard, not getting the same respect or treatment as others, especially if we have kids. And I've noticed that there's different treatments. And, don't hire the single mother because she needs, she's going to be more needy or need childcare. She can't find childcare. And just equity all the way around. And I feel like we need to, I think I'm getting into number 3, but
Here's number 3. Yeah, let's talk about the concern first. So it sounds
yeah.
like equity, right? Or inequities,
Mm-hmm.
should we talk about, in microaggressions?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you find that in different places that you go, whether it's work or whether it's school, or where do you experience this?
Probably, well, for one, I grew up in San Jose, and it's very diverse, but it's mainly dominant by a lot of Hispanic. And I'm mixed. My dad's Mexican and my mom's Black. And I didn't have my mom growing up. So just even at home, microaggressions and the mistreatment, it's just so different because they're like, we're all minorities. Why are we hating on each other? Just having that prejudice just in your ear. For me, growing up, it kind of almost brainwashed me in a way, and almost kind of made me lose myself. And I'm just, you don't tell children these things, we're all born pure and innocent, and, prejudice and the biases and just racism, everything that's all taught behavior.
Yeah, it is.
So growing up, I'm just like, I'm just a kid. I didn't see color. I didn't see, anything. I'm just pure. And growing up in a Hispanic community, it's like there was a lot of racism towards, Black people and just any other culture, ethnicity besides Mexicans. Like, I've heard it all. And so I've got a lot of microaggressions in the home and in my community, at the school. I was the only Black girl in my family. And at my school, there was probably, I'll be surprised if I seen a Black person. I'll be like, oh, I seen one Black person today, and then finally I go, as an adult, I go to another state. Like for Texas, I went to Dallas, and I just like, oh my gosh, I love it here. Like, I've never felt like it's my people. I was so happy. But yeah, definitely the mistreatment and the different. It wasn't
The microaggressions and
microaggressions.
prejudice, but it sounds like you were not only experiencing it externally outside, but also internally inside the home, and that makes it very challenging because where's your haven, right? You had to start creating your own haven, even within yourself, and finding your space and creating that space for yourself so that you could have that haven, because everyone has to have that haven, right? Even if you make it your own, in your room, in your closet, in your bathroom, outside, in the school. I mean, you have to find that haven. And so I really salute you for being a strong woman, and being able to find that haven and that peace, even in the midst of the storm. How did you find your haven? Where was your haven?
Oh man. So even though with all the the brainwashing and all that, for a minute I was believing all the criticism, and I knew that's not who I was. Like, I knew who I was, and my heart is not like that. And all the way up until I was an adult, probably 18, I want to say 18, a young adult. Maybe even younger. I want to say as a freshman, I didn't like the way I was feeling at the time. I was like, why am I always so sad? Why am I like, I literally had to teach myself in middle school, even though I didn't like it. That's not who I was. I literally had to tell myself and put that mentality on where it's like, you need to fight for yourself. You need to stand up for yourself. And nobody's standing up for you. You don't have a mom, a dad. No one's going to do it for you. Like, you shouldn't be here, crying or hating the world or hating anything. Because where's the happiness? Where's the peace in that? So I had to tell myself, like, you need to start fighting for yourself and standing up for yourself. If they don't love you, and if they're not part of you growing and have the good intentions for myself, I was like, then I shouldn't even worry about what they say or how they feel about me. It's about how I feel about myself, and knowing who I am, and knowing where I stand, and where I want to be, and the type of person that I want to be, and impact moving forward. And I've always told myself, whenever I grow up, if I have kids, I'm breaking that cycle. I'm going to give them everything that I've never had.
There you go.
Everything
Break
that I've
the
never
cycle.
had.
Break the cycle. Take control. I love it. I love it. We definitely give you kudos being that strong woman and having to be there for yourself. And you're speaking to somebody this evening, somebody who's going to hear it this in the morning, wherever you are, because they hear it all over. You may be the morning time or evening time or the afternoon, but wherever they are, someone's hearing a story and getting strength from your story, and knowing that they aren't alone, and knowing that they can make it. And I think that's really important to get out. And so, because I told you the time would go fast, let's get to Jennifer about what concerns she has.
Oh, so many. I will say this. Well, maybe two. I just feel like there's not enough with. How can I say? I don't want it to come out wrong.
It's real talk.
Okay, so I think there's not enough hair salons for our culture. There's not people that look like us that come together and want to represent our community. If that makes sense. When it hair or where we are, I notice sometimes when I'm shopping, people, it depends on where you are. And, growing up, I was always aware of that. I try not to take it personally. But when you're shopping, they just look at you like, you ever been like followed in a store before? Stuff like that. Or if you go to a town, like here, I wish that there was more like of us to do like hair and like nails, where you didn't have to travel so far, in a nice community. You didn't have to travel to a lower class neighborhood to go get your hair done or go here. I feel like that should be anywhere. I just wish people really came together as a community and didn't really like hate each other or like be jealous of each other. I just wish we were just one and come together and come up with like some resources or things that we can make our community better,
So your concerns, if I'm understanding correctly, are more with the crab mentality, of being able to pull constantly, not lifting, but pulling down.
Yeah.
And you're feeling this. Did you feel that in New York as well? Or are you just feeling it more here in the California area? Or what are you experiencing?
I feel it more here, There are some spots in New York that had the same thing, into a upper class neighborhood that was like really, really nice. You wouldn't really find many of us. even when it came down to certain things like businesses, you wouldn't really.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do come into that community, it's like, oh, wow. Like, that shouldn't be a shock to the other party. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we should all still be equal. And
Mm-hmm.
this time, this day and age, everybody's, struggling with equality still. It's not
Yeah.
as it was back then, but, there is still some, inequality.
We still have some work to do. Exactly. So as we get ready to close out, like I told you, it goes fast. I want to find out from you guys. Give me not even 1 minute, 30 seconds of how you think your concern should be addressed. Because I'm always about, we bring the problem, but we need to bring the solution too. So Jessica, how do you think your concern can be addressed? 30 seconds.
All right. I think it starts within, heal the mind, body, and spirit. Once you have that confidence and you know who you are and you find yourself and you grow, and we learn from our mistakes and we learn from other things. So I really think about healing our mind, body, and spirit, and
Okay.
is the way to go.
So inside, starting from within, and that's not only for you, but for everyone. You're saying that you would have better relationships and better experiences and environments if we start from healing from within our mind, body, and souls. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. Now, Jen, 30 seconds. How do you address your concern? What are some of the solutions? 30 seconds.
We should all treat each other better, be more equal. If you have a business, get it out there. Don't be afraid to branch off in a different community instead of just sticking to what you know. I think that's it. Try to make it as possible.
No, and so you're really encouraging a lot more minority businesses, specifically African American businesses. So during this month of Black History, try to find more Black businesses and patronize them. How about that, ladies? Let's give everybody the challenge during Black History Month and beyond. But let's start during this month to give some more business to the Black entrepreneurs. How about that?
Let's be
all right. So we challenge each and every one of you, as well as the ones who on the panel and ourselves, is being able to find more Black businesses and learning how to patronize them. All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Jennifer and Jessica. You are awesome. I appreciate you taking your time and sharing, because you are helping someone out there. And Real Talk will be back in another couple of weeks with more talk. We always have something going on that's going to be able to uplift women and to uplift us all together. And especially during this month, we want to be able to pay homage and celebrate African American queens, young, middle-aged, older, seasoned, everywhere, internationally and nationally. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Real Talk.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.